morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Authorities on the Pine Ridge Reservation are looking for a man wanted in connection to a stabbing. The Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety says it happened Thursday in the Wounded Knee area. Authorities say Raymond Eaglehawk Jr. is suspected to be involved in the stabbing.
The victim was taken to a local hospital for their injuries. Eaglehawk is believed to still be in the area. If you see him, do not approach and call OST Dispatch right away.
The search is over for a Sioux Falls shooting suspect. Dustin Gallegos Jr. was booked into the Minnehaha County Jail Wednesday night for aggravated assault and a parole hold.
Court documents say he shot a man during a drug-related incident last week. The victim survived. There was a $100,000 warrant for Gallegos' arrest.
We have a better picture of some of the challenges corrections and law enforcement officials have with drugs behind prison walls in South Dakota.
Attorney General Marty Jackley says cocaine, methamphetamine, K2, and fentanyl are inside State Department of Corrections facilities. Secretary of Corrections Kelly Wasco says drugs can enter through a package or the mail.
She also says there's been more than one attempt recently to have drugs tossed over an outside penitentiary wall.
I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to see anything happen to our inmates.
The South Dakota Department of Corrections has confirmed 3 inmate deaths tied to drug overdoses this year in Sioux Falls, 1 at the state penitentiary and 2 at the Jameson Annex next door.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Good morning, Scott.
All right. Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. Another day with these scattered showers and thunderstorms, probably after 3 o'clock in southeastern South Dakota. And then later this evening in western KELOLAND. You see, our temperatures will range from the 60s in north central and northeastern South Dakota to near 90 in Yankton. And Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A Sioux Falls native is starring in a new movie. Joe Hyatt is an actor in Fall is a Good Time to Die.
His character Cody is one that was attractive for Hyatt to play.
I think Cody is very shackled by his past, and he also lacks like a vocabulary to release his feelings and his emotions, and because of that he's living this like lonely, isolated, seemingly unnoticed life. And I think, and aren't we all at times, you know?
Along with featuring Hyatt, the movie also features South Dakota as it was shot in Gregory County.
The movie will play at the State Theater tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Father's Day is coming up this weekend, and it's not too late to pick up a gift.
And whether or not your dad enjoys flowers, Cliff Avenue Greenhouse still has plenty of present options.
If dad is into nature, gardening, lawn care, loves it, lots of dads love their lawns. We've got anything that they would need as far as lawn care. Again, fountains, statuary, trees, shrubs, perennials, gift cards so that dad can pick out what he wants.
The greenhouse is open today until 6, tomorrow from 9 to 5:30, and on Sunday from noon to 5.
Sioux Falls Parks and Recreation is set to host its first Lazy 5K and Great Cardboard Boat Race events of the summer.
The Lazy 5K has participants running or walking 44 laps against the current of the Lazy River at Drake Springs Aquatic Center.
And the Great Cardboard Boat Race has people building vessels out of nothing but cardboard and duct tape and setting sail at Keene Park Pool.
We race based on whose boat lasts the longest and speed across the pool. We'll have lifeguards there helping out too in case of any sinkings, which usually happen. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun challenge. Build the most watertight boat and see how long you can last.
Registration is required for both events. The Lazy 5K is tomorrow night from 7 to 9 at Drake Springs. The cost is $20.
The Great Cardboard Boat Race is Sunday morning at Keene Park. Check-in begins at 9, followed by the race at 10, and this event is free.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching the weather as we get ready for that and everything else going on in the region here this weekend. Some heavy rain last night. Some of the rain totals northeast of Aberdeen, just northern Brown County, and then extending right through the Britton area and down to Sisseton. We've got reports of 4 to 5 inches of rainfall out of these local storms. And even a lot of green here, which represents basically over a half an inch. The Watertown Airport is about 1.25 inches. We've got some bigger numbers just due north of Redfield, but you can even look at southern Spink County and it's not nearly as much. So there's kind of a variety of things, of course, typical when you talk about thunderstorms this time of year. A lot of zeros on the maps from Mitchell to Sioux Falls yesterday, in the last 24 hours at least. And so we'll see if that changes. Valentine and west of Winter. We had some pretty big storms yesterday, though, dumping some big hail out that direction. But today, the risk of severe weather looks like most of the day should be free of that. Now, I would call out far western South Dakota and the Black Hills. That's an area that could sprout some severe weather late this evening. There's also the chance of a couple of cells on radar in a thin line or kind of just a broken line from Brookings to Sioux Falls to Yankton. We've kind of thrown that in there at about a 20% chance of rain. So I don't want you to forget about that because we got some pretty humid air and a weak convergence zone, right? Basically a wind shift line going through Sioux Falls. So whatever sprouts from that, we'll kind of take that into consideration. Then look behind me here in the Black Hills. That's where the next round sets up here. And again, some of the leftovers could move into central South Dakota tomorrow morning. I still think on Saturday we're on track here for a south-southeast wind. We're going to warm up Aberdeen. You're cool today. You're only in the mid to upper 60s, but you should be a little warmer tomorrow into the low to mid 70s. But look how hot it is in Yankton, 91. Folks will be out of the lake with that kind of weather. And then you look at radar picture here in southwest and south central South Dakota. Saturday evening, there should be some thunderstorms trying to march east. And then it gets a little more complicated on Father's Day as far as the timing or the placement of these thunderstorms. We have a juicy air mass overhead. We got a lot of 80-degree weather in the afternoon. We could have some leftover thunderstorm potential Sunday morning. It still looks more favorable Sunday evening that there could be a couple of complexes of rain. And you just hit the repeat button and it could happen again on Mondays. So not everybody gets wet with each one of these rounds, but there's certainly enough going on here from one corner of Kettleland to the other that you got to kind of stay up on the weather forecast. Those 80s in the south today, 60s in the north. Fog to start the day, Rapid City. Got to mention that too. But again, it'll give way to some 70s later today. Sioux Falls consistently in the 80s. And with that drawn out, we've just put in a lot of these rain chances. We ramped them up, though, Sunday night, early Monday. I would also call out late Monday into Tuesday. There could be a cycle in there. Even the Storm Prediction Center has put out their Day 4 and their Day 5 outlooks for Nebraska and South Dakota. So that's why we tie those higher numbers with that outlook and the basic setup here for some thunderstorms. Aberdeen, we're coming off all this rain from the last 24 hours. We'll try to hit the reset button. This weekend doesn't look too bad here on Saturday, high in the mid to upper 70s. Sunday tries to warm to 83, but you're going to get tossed into the mix of thunderstorms as well. And then Pierre and Rapid City, same idea. We roll these thunderstorms. The slight risk is out again for tomorrow for the far west. And I think that warrants, your attention. There could be some hail and wind with those bigger storms. More details online at KETHLELAND.com.